Welcome back, and we have Heidi Solomon next, who's a psychosomatic therapist. Welcome, Heidi.
Thank you.
So, firstly, can you lead in by telling us a little bit about your story?
Yeah, sure. So I used to be a biomedical engineer, so I have a medical background, and all of a sudden life happens, and then I wake up one day with MS. So I had multiple sclerosis for a long time, and I was totally incapacitated. I was homebound for 5 years. I was not talking, not walking, not able to control my bladder. So I was wearing adult diapers, and I couldn't eat solids as well. And I was really sick for years. And just one day, a random person just said to me, why did you choose MS? So a lady just came to me and she asked me that question while I was in hospital getting my fix. So every time I had an attack, I went to hospital and I sat there and I was having an IV for, 4 or 5 days and of steroids. And then she just asked me that question, why did you choose MS? And that question led me to, answering that question led me to, well, if I had chosen MS, then can I unchoose it? And that was the whole journey. And this is where I ended up with psychosomatics and everything else I'm doing. So it opened the gateway for me to understand that we are mind, body and soul. And then when the three components aren't in harmony for any kind of reason, then we actually sit in disease, disharmony. And autoimmune is the most common one.
So is then multiple sclerosis an autoimmune disease?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. Right. So what then, what did you discover on that pathway?
So when I found out that mind, body and soul connection there is something wrong there, so I went and I started looking for avenues where I can get things back in harmony and get my mindset right again. And so I went and I found psychosomatic therapy and coaching. And then after, getting over MS, getting over the symptoms, stopping my medication altogether, I went and I started psychosomatic therapy myself and coaching. So that's what I do now. So this is why I do psychosomatics.
Oh, that's a great combination, isn't it? You can have the communication as well as the body communication incorporated into it.
That's so true, because psychosomatic therapy is a journey of the person from the outside in, and then we say your issues are in your tissues. So this is where it comes from the inside out, and this is where coaching comes in place.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. What were some of the symptoms that you've seen come up for people while you're working?
A lot of people present their issues, as I said, in their tissues. So, for example, something like, cancers. Cancers are there for a reason that people aren't forgiving and aren't letting go of some issues, and therefore they're holding on, and then therefore they have cancers. This is an example. Another example would be desensitized tissues, what we call fat. People build fat deposits in specific places, specific spots, and it's there for protection. So, this is why we tend to hold this fat in these places. So this is an example of some different things that I've seen.
Would you have any examples of other maybe diseases in the body that present to you during, in your discovery with other people?
So I would say anything that is autoimmune, like asthma, eczema, psoriasis. So any of that is totally reversible, and people, after a long journey of having history of asthma, eczema and, hay fever and all of that, they let go of the reason why they were holding on to that, and then they become better in every possible way. So the disease cure comes as a bonus. So the people that actually seek psychosomatic therapy, they seek that to get harmony in terms of everything in life, and then they get free of their disease as a bonus. The one thing I tell a lot of people is that they need to listen to their bodies. Everybody needs to listen to what their body is telling them, and then to understand what's it telling them and what is it that they need to do to be able to bring back harmony to their bodies and minds and souls. It's a journey, and we're all in this together. So we need to be helping each other.
So it's like the balance in life that we're all seeking, isn't it? That balance of of things presenting themselves really to us. Yes. That's fantastic. Yeah. So just to finish, what would be your absolute top tip for our viewers?
The number one piece of advice, I give that to myself and to everybody I know, is watch the results you're having in your life in any area. Relationships, business, money, everything, abundance, everything. Watch the results that you're having in all your areas in your life. If there is an area where you're not experiencing 100% the results that you'd love to see, then you need to bring back balance and harmony to that area, and then you will get the results that you want.
Well, thank you for sharing that. It's wonderful. And for more information on Heidi and psychosomatic therapy, then please go to our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. Welcome back, and now we have Dr. Zara Chelik, our integrative health and wellbeing expert, and today she's back talking to us about overcoming depression. So Dr. Zara, we know that depression's a big thing with many of our viewers, I'm sure, experience it or know someone with it. Can you tell us a bit more about how to overcome it?
Yeah, so depression is comparison of our reality, our current situation, life or event that took place in our life. It's a comparison of that event or a memory or our sort of lifestyle or our personality and our achievements to either past or someone else's reality. So that whole comparison will create internal conflict, an internal conflict of energy inside the individual. So as we are comparing our life to either our past, and we want to be always there, or if we are comparing our reality to someone else's, there will be that shift of biochemistry happening inside. Normally when we talk about depression, us practitioners will go with the symptoms and then we do the diagnosis. But I like to know the real trigger. What is the real trigger? Is it the language that the individual is using and associating with day-to-day activities? Is it the language that individuals are using to describe the current reality or the situation that they're in? Is that then really creating that internal turbulence and that internal vortex with the turbulence, and it really pulls them down? So I like our viewers to see what really is triggering that. When you say you are depressed or you know someone, pay attention to what actually you're talking about. I find particularly with this current situation globally, majority of the people that I know, and I'm sure you do too, people compare the reality of now to the past. So then they feel they are stuck. And they say, I am depressed because I'm not doing what I used to do. I'm depressed because I'm not going out to the restaurant and wearing my glamorous clothes. You know, language pattern, you can really see where it's coming from. So I like to see how people describe their depression. They say, I'm depressed. Well, what is really triggering that? So that is important. That's what we really need to pay attention. And as an individual ourselves, But also to those people they're saying, I am depressed, pay attention to what the trigger is. That is crucial. Then of course when we say I'm depressed, the physiology shifts, right? The body shifts, the psychology shifts, the physiology is telling you something isn't quite right because you're creating that through the language pattern, and you're automatically taking yourself to that state, to depressed state, and you want to be there. It's comfortable because you're getting some nice attention. And again, so find the trigger and use the language, then shift yourself out of that. You can do it. So anyone can really do that. Yes, the professionals, we do come in. I'm a mindset coach as well. Work with the psychologist, work with the coach, but really it comes down to the language that you use. Maybe you are seeing your professional for 45 minutes a week, right? But you are with yourself for the rest of the time. Then how do you talk to yourself? How do you shift yourself out of that state of being? So that's what I would like people to pay attention and stop comparing themselves to other people and compare their current situation to their past. And that's the key to overcoming depression.
It's a huge topic, isn't it?
And it
depression.
is very common as well. People experience it, and as I said, it is creating that biochemical reaction. Then, the whole biochemistry shifting. Then there will be interruption to the gut flow, right? The gut function, rather. There will be also imbalance in the nervous system. Remember, I talked about our nervous system, how big role it plays, especially when we say, "I am depressed, I'm not happy," and this. It creates that imbalance in the autonomic nervous system. So the parasympathetic nervous system is down-regulated. The sympathetic nervous system is up-regulated. We're constantly running away from something. It's the fight and flight kicking in. So what does that do? When the parasympathetic is down, the gut functions down. And when the gut functions down, the neurotransmitters responsible in the brain are also not at optimum level. The other thing will be the mindset. Right? When we are in the fight and flight, and I spoke about that in our last episode, the imminent mind kicks over. So we are focusing on the problem, and we're not objective, we're not creative, we're not authentic. And at that state, we are not thriving because we are focusing on the threat constantly and wiring our brain to focus on the threat rather than getting creative and objective to shift ourselves out of that state.
So what would your best advice be for our viewers before we go to the break today?
So I just want to talk about an individual actually, which I encountered and met quite recently. He was depressed due to the COVID-19 regulations. So he felt like his freedom was taken away. So as soon as he actually saw how he was thinking and went to the thinking process, it immediately shifted the thinking process, and it helped him to overcome and come out of that situation and then use it to his advantage. So it can be achieved, but it is all about the mindset and the individual and the commitment to self. So the advice will be to pay attention to your language and what you are doing with your mindset and your thinking process. Are you constantly comparing yourself to somebody else or your past and you want to stay there? So which feels comfortable? Because it is all up to you how you want to shift yourself and your life and what direction you want to go towards. Because if you choose and it is comfortable to be in that depressed state, then you will be in that state at all times. But if it doesn't feel comfortable and you want to actually snap out of it, then move towards that and take actions to move forward. Get a coach if you need to. See a psychologist, whatever works. Have a goal, and it is that goal that will get you closer to the outcome. But if you don't have any realistic outcome or any goal setting, then it is going to be challenging and it's going to be slower to get out of that depression state.
Thank you, Dr. Zara.
My pleasure.
And for more information on Dr. Zara Celik and overcoming depression, then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. We'll go to break and be back after the break with more interviews. Welcome back, and now we have Sondre Kalik with us again, our Women's Sales Success Coach. And next she's talking about authentic confidence.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that, Sondre.
Well,
what a wonderful topic.
I know, isn't it? Because I think there is a lot of people who actually think they're confident, but what they're doing is they're really coming from a place of, what does confidence look like? Like, what should it look like? What should it sound like? What should it feel like? And then they're really projecting that out, as opposed to having a confidence that comes from the internal well of, you know, the solidness of who you are and the values that you take out into the world, right? When I started out in sales, of course, I was an actual introvert, believe it or not. I was extremely shy, and I actually found it extremely hard, like heart palpitatingly hard, to talk to people and to, you know, especially actually ask them for money in exchange for the product that I was selling. So it was a very interesting opportunity, because I was taught that confidence was something that was projected out. It was about a firm handshake and that smile that I had to have plastered on my face all of the time, you know, and it was a really hard habit to break, actually. But, you know, and shoulder pads, you know, in my suit, and having the confident walk. It was all about how I looked, how I was perceived. And so, but what happens, have you ever sort of felt that when somebody really projects their confidence onto you, what do?
Back off.
Back off, exactly. And so, you know, there's a lot of instances where people are having that encounter. They're like, what am I doing wrong? You know, like everything should be working, yet people aren't connecting with me, and they're not able to connect because there is this pushing away when we're actually trying to invite people in. And that really has to do with our energetic field, which is a lot of, you know, it's an easy concept to understand, and it's an easy thing to change in how you be. Okay, because simply it's like your energetic field goes about an arm's to an arm's length apart from, you know, your physical body. And so everything that we think and everything that we feel, our belief systems, our value systems, basically hold space and generate a certain feeling for other people when they encounter us. And so if we're pushing outwards, we're not actually able to invite inwards. And confidence really needs to be something that's fostered within us. It's part of our own ownership of the value of who we are, our ideas, our experience, our creative ways in which we do things, the unique perspective that we bring to whatever it is that we're doing is of value to other people. And yet we are often kind of pushing these ideas out beyond our energetic field. And so the idea is to allow enough space to be able to invite people in. And that does come down to your confidence. It comes down to your confidence in your value, in your ideas, in your experience, and finding a way in which you can gain confidence in those is all about the clarity. You know, if you have real clarity around what it is that you're speaking about, if you are able to take people through a succinct steps of steps, you know, a succinct system, then people are really able to go, oh, okay, so that's how it works. And therefore, the confidence in what you're talking about radiates the confidence.
Oh, and Sondre, that's so important for people to take into life, isn't it? For all of us to have that awareness.
Absolutely, because, you know, confidence, like we're talking about it in a sales sense, yes, we need that, but we need that for any idea it is that we're trying to get other people to participate with us in, because really, you know, we're always selling something. And we want to do that so that it's of service to other people and also serves us as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Sondre. And for more information about confidence and Sondre, then please go to our website healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And next we have Nancy Beckor. Welcome back. And next we have Nancy Beckor, who's a light therapy attendant and researcher. And today she's talking about meditation. Welcome, Nancy.
Hello.
Why meditate?
You know, there are a lot of people are aware about meditating, and I'm going to give some known reasons, but I'm also going to give some not known reasons. So first of all, meditation is a great antidote to stress. That the stress we're talking about is not so much like working too hard physically. The big problem is the mental stress, where you're imagining problems, you're solving problems, you're thinking about your problem, and this actually stresses the body. What we do in meditation is, first of all, we are easing the body, because the moment you stop the mind working, the body can relax. Now, there's another reason, which is that we get to connect to our inner knowing. This inner knowing knows everything you want, everything you need. It can solve your problems like nobody else could. How long do you have to spend with someone for them to even understand where you come from? But the great guru is here. So the different perspectives that you can reach in meditation, because you're no longer thinking, but they're more coming up from gut knowing or heart wisdom, gives you a chance to experience your life completely differently. So we're focusing on the body, but we're doing it with a feeling, emotional experience. Meditation is not a thinking experience. Now, I refer to mindfulness. Mindfulness is totally valid. It is where you learn about your life patterns and perhaps improve your relationships, but it is a thinking process. The great gateway of meditation is the feeling, because as we increase our ability to feel the subtle energy flows in the body, we begin to learn to hear the inner self speak to us. Why are some people so lucky? Why do some people know just what to do? More than likely they have a meditation practice, but it may not be. It could be that they're sports people who've learned to calm themselves down. Everybody knows that meditation is not that easy, but there's an advanced aspect of meditation, which if you have not learned to relax, you don't even get there. And I'm going to talk about more of that in the next segment when we talk about mind expansion.
Oh, great. Yes.
But the value of simply learning to quiet the mind helps you throughout the day.
And Nancy, how would you recommend to our viewers to meditate?
Thanks for that question. So what we do, it's not so much about not thinking, don't think about the elephant in the room, you will. It's about beginning to feel your body and focusing on your breath and becoming aware only of your body, because you're going to learn some things from your body. If it's ill health, you'll learn that. But if you are being guided by your inner voice, you will know it as an alert that comes through the body. So meditation is helping you to have ears that are not connected to your thinker. Okay, so it's not easy, right? And we're talking about profoundly meditating. There's new technology created with light. It's found that when you have a session, you have your eyes shut and you see beautiful colours and patterns. And what happens to everybody is their mind disappears. As a Tibetan monk said, he said, it's a shortcut. Yes, today there is a shortcut in light technology.
And for more information on meditation and light therapy, please go to our website healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And we'll say bye-bye for now and see you next week. Thank you.